who make Savings of America $19 billion strong.
The decision to get a high school degree is an important one. For months or even years, an adult must devote time and energy to getting the education that for one reason or another they had failed to receive.
I just couldn't stop screaming. I got it, I got it, I got it, I got it, I got it.
What she got was her high school equivalency certificate. 45-year-old Catherine Goins dropped out of school after the 8th grade to take care of her invalid grandmother. And she got married and started having children. School was something that she always wanted to finish, especially when her children began graduating from high school and going to college.
To me, I didn't want to be the dummy of the family. All of my kids had was graduating from high school, so I'm going to college. So I said, well, hey, why me? Why I have to be the dummy of the family? I can do it. I mean, if they can do it, I can do it.
Goins went to school at one of the 36 centers for adult basic education in St. Louis City.
They can just walk into the center. We will greet them, happy to see them, provide them with the information that they need. And then there are structures there that will be about the business of assisting them in learning the materials that they need to know.
Well, at first I was scared, nervous. People, I said to myself, why I wait so old? So I get so old, no, before I go back to school.
We make a point of not being the same as these students have already had. The students have generally not done well in public schools, and that's the reason they dropped out prior to graduating. Because of that, we want to, as much as possible, give them a different experience, a much more personal experience, perhaps, an individual approach that they may not have felt at the time that they're in public schools.
The classes are free. 4,000 to 6,000 people go to adult basic education in the city every year. Since it is individual instruction, you can enroll at any time. An estimated 250,000 people in the city of St. Louis did not finish high school. Almost half could be considered functionally illiterate. They can read and write, but at a very low level.
If one does not have skills to do anything, they're able to cope, or they develop other kinds of skills. If you're blind, you develop the other skills to assist you in making it on a day-to-day basis. And I think that's just what happens.
Most students are going back so that they can get a better paying job.
Well, after I found out how hard everything was out there in the street, so I decided, that's the best thing, to try to get all the education I can and then, go back to work.
I went to put in this application for this cookie factory, and the first thing they asked you got a high school diploma. So I left there and come on by her.
Getting a better job is not the only reason for going back to the classroom.
You take most jobs, you at least have to have a high school education, even to just babysit these days. So I mean, I wouldn't think it would be a bad idea, even if it's more for self-satisfaction.
And what about her self-satisfaction?
Proud.
And to get that feeling of pride, to help people get that feeling through education, the Adult Education Council of Greater St. Louis was founded 45 years ago, and the council's executive director is Joanie, and she is with us now. 45 years ago, the purposes of the council were a great deal different. I guess illiteracy was almost totally the problem, and that's what you dealt with. How have things changed over the years?
Well, in 1937, the council was founded to address the literacy problems of immigrants, and while I hope it's obvious that I wasn't around then, the council has maintained its basic purpose but has expanded to meet the changing needs of adults. The literacy problem that you saw previously is still a problem, and it's of national concern. In fact, there's a national campaign going on right now that President Reagan has endorsed. If you look at the state of Missouri, we have approximately 35% of adults 18 years and older do not have a high school diploma. Specifically in the St. Louis area, the county is about 25% and the city is about 50%. But the calls we get really do not relate specifically to basic education. People's interests, it's very exciting, are very different. People call for a variety of motives.
Are they job-oriented motives or just education for the joy of education?
I think it's both. There is an increasing joy of learning that people are beginning to pursue education just for the simple enjoyment of it. 60% of 37 million adult education courses last year were taken for job-related skills.
For a couple of specifics, do all the school districts in the county, for instance, offer adult education courses? And do they cost any money?
There's a majority of school districts that do, and they range from free courses up into regular tuition costs, and the council offers that kind of information for anyone who needs specific details on courses.
Yes. We might tell the viewers we're going to give them a phone number in just a second here where they can call and get some information. But the Adult Education Council is not a government agency. You're privately funded from a variety of sources.
We're a nonprofit organization, but we have a variety of funding sources, and one is membership donations.
So people could call this number and get information about that
could.
too, I would presume. If you would like some further information about adult education, you can call 644-2900. There are counselors there who can talk with you between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. That's on regular working days, 644-2900. That's a clearinghouse for all sorts of information. For information specifically about the city public school program that we saw earlier in the report, you can call 531-0494. Jennifer?
5 on 5 will continue with a look at the common symptoms of depression when we come back.